Hello everyone and welcome to this Wikio practical session in air about the evolution of the permafrost in Alaska. My name is Simon Millet, I am a scientific engineer at Noveltis in France and I will be your trainer during this session. You will use a Jupyter notebook to see the evolution of the permafrost in air. You will also have a closer look at Wikio's product, their structures, format, variable and how to explore and plot them. Notebook is composed of different cells, and some of them have code inside, like these cells. And to run a cell, you have two options. First, you click in the button here, or you use the keyboard shortcut Shift plus Enter. It is not here. And if for any reason the kernel is not working, you use this button to restart the kernel. After exploring the netcd file content of the product, you will make a basic plot of skin temperature, and then we will visualize the seasonal variation of skin temperature. Then we will visualize the soil temperature at different levels in a second point. Then we will see for specific months. And finally, we will compare the temperature with the concentration of methane. So this drawing focus on the early thaw of permafrost and its impact on methane emission in Alaska. So in recent years, Arctic region is warming, leading to the permafrost thawing of permafrost lower, and the permafrost soils store vast amount of organic matter and methane that have remained frozen for thousands of years. So in this training, we will allow you to explore the temporal evolution of methane concentration over Alaska using reanalyze this data. You will visualize the trend with time series and map of temperature at 2 meters, soil temperature and methane with ERA5 and CAMS data. So during this training we will use the air environment. So for this you must be set up with all the necessary available libraries. So in this training we will use the 7th libraries. So there is ggplot2 that is for creating graphic. Dplyr, it is a library for manipulating data. AirColorBrowers, a library for color palette in plot. netcd4, it is an interface for netcd file format. Widextra, it is a library for arranging multiplot in a page. Skulls, it is a library for skull map data for aesthetic. And Lubedite, it is a library for date time data. So first we run the sales. You have here the warning message, but it is just information about the libraries. And if you are using another support and the library are not installed, you can use this command line to install all the libraries. So first the data. So from the Wikio viewer, so you have a link here. You can explore all the product that you want. So Wikio is a European platform providing access to environmental data. And it provides access to a wide range of Earth observation and reanalyze data. So in this training we will use two different datasets. First it is CAMS reanalyze data. Here you have a full name. So in the spatial region in Alaska, to have the variable of methane. We use a monthly means from January 2003 to December 2020, so it is a long period. And second, it is ERA 5 land monthly average. So it is to have a variable, so temperature at 2 meters, skin temperature, and soil temperature. So the files are already downloaded, so it is in the folder here, data. So you don't have, sorry, you don't have to download it, but if you want to try, it is possible. You need to have your own Weko credential, so the username and password. And if you are not, it is possible to creating here for free. So if you want to test, it is possible, but the data is are already downloaded in this training. So now we will make basic plot, a map with ERA 5 data. So first we set the path of the netcdf file. So the files are here in the folder. Then we load the netcdf file with the function ncopen. And you can have information about the data. For example, the list of the variable and the dimension of the variable. So there is a 4 variable. Here it is the skin temperature, and here the temperature at 2 meters. And it dependent of time, latitude, and longitude. So now we load all the variable thanks to the function ncvarget. So there are latitude, longitude, time, skin temperature, and temperature at 2 meters. It is possible to have the information about the data. So the dimension, for example, for the temperature at 2 meters. So there is the longitude, latitude, and time. And here it is the value, a value for one longitude, one latitude, and one time. It is possible to visualize the time too, but here it is a number, not a date. So to convert the date, we use this function as POSIX, but we need the origin. And it is possible to have the origin thanks to this function here. So you have the unit here. It is a second since January 1970. So you can put here the units, and you can see now time value. It is a date, not a number. Here it is to save memory. Now we have a load variable. You will make a basic plot of skin temperature. So first we create a data frame. So for this, the data frame will dependent only of longitude, latitude. So for this we select index of time. Here it is 1, but you can choose what you want. So we create a data frame dependent of longitude and latitude, and here there is a skin temperature. You can visualize the data frame, so you can see the skin temperature is dependent only on longitude and latitude. There is only none value because longitude and for this longitude and this latitude, it is on the sea, not on the land. Or it is for this there is a non-value. And finally, we make a basic plot thanks to the function ggplot. We add the data frame thanks to function geomtile, so the data frame with longitude, latitude, and the skin temperature. Here it is for color scale option. So we put the color palette here, the name of the color palette, the limit, and the none value in gray. Then it is general aesthetic option. There's here title and subtitle, legend, and the size of the text. And here we add the country border and apply the Mercator projection. And then we save the figure in the folder figure here. And finally we display the figure. And we can see the skin temperature in degrees in January 2000. So this map shows the skin temperature in degrees in Alaska, and you can see that skin temperature is higher in the south part of the state here, and but it is in January, so the temperature is very cold, between minus 30 to 0. Now we will see visualize the seasonal variation of skin temperature. So we have seen how to map a variable, for example, skin temperature. And now we will compute the monthly means fields from 2000 to 2023, and then plot all the corresponding map of January, April, July, and October. If you want, you can try to plot over month if you want. So the main step, it is creating a data frame of temperature along longitude, latitude, so spatial coordinate and temporal coordinate. Then we compute the monthly means from 2000 to 2023, and finally we will plot skin temperature map for each January, April, and July and October months. So first we create a data frame. So here the data frame dependent of longitude, latitude, and time. And we add the corresponding months. So if it is in January, it is 1, if February it is 2, etc. And then we display the data frame. So here you can see the data frame dependent of longitude, latitude, and time. Here it is the value of skin temperature and the corresponding month. This said make an average over each month. So for this we use the data frame. We group by longitude, latitude, and month. So for each longitude, latitude, and month, we summarize. So we keep all the value of skin temperature, and we do the average of skin temperature. And then here we convert the in data frame, because after the operation it is not a data frame, so we convert in a data frame. So for each month we have a value for each longitude and latitude. Then here we create a plot function. So it is approximately the same code that we have seen before for creating map, but we put in function to have less code after for plotting each month. And here for January, April, July, and October, we plot all the figure. So the figures are saved here. Here you can see April, January, July, and October. And now we display all the figure. So you can see here the January for January. Here the skin temperature for April, July, and October. And it is the same color bar for each figure. So you can see a strong variability in seasonal, strong seasonal variability with temperature, because here it is minus 40 for the minimum, and here it is approximately 10 degrees in summer. So there is a difference exceeding 40 degrees in some area between winter and summer. And during winter, most of Alaska is covered with snow. It is for this approximately all the land is have snow on ice, and the temperature is below 0 degrees. Now we will see the soil temperature, because the skin temperature is only on the surface of the ground, and now we will see the temperature at a different level of the ground. So in the previous figure we saw a high variation of skin temperature between winter and summer, especially in the north of Alaska. So now we will work at a second point with this coordinate. So first we will visualize the soil temperature at this point over a long period. So between January 2000 to December 2023. And first we load the dataset. So it is another dataset. It is data ERA5 soil temperature level. And we use the line here, to select the nearest index of longitude and latitude about this coordinate. So the nearest, it is exactly the same coordinate. Here we find the index of time. So to have the index of time between these two dates. And now we can create the data frame that dependent only on the time, because we use the index of longitude and latitude, and we keep only value between these two dates. It is for this, after creating dataset, we keep only the index 1 and index 2, that is the index of time. So we have a data frame that is dependent only of the date, and we have the temperature at 2 meters and the different level of sea temperature. Of soil temperature. So here it is the plot to it is a sale to create the plot. First we determine figure size option, and then we use ggplot2 egally. We put the data frame here, and we put with the line the soil temperature at level 1, so it is between 0 and 7 centimeters. The second level, the third level, and the fourth level, and you have different level of the temperature here. Then we put title and text about in the aesthetic option, and here it is for side of the text. And we can see here the temperature of the soil at different level. So in blue it is the first level, and black it is the the last level. So we can see there is a significant variation in soil temperature across different depths. The deeper the level, the smaller the seasonal variation. Generally ranging between -6 and -2 compared to the surface lower, which vary between -7 and 7 approximately. Additionally, there is a noticeable time lag between upper and lower. The temperature maximum or minimum occur earlier in the upper level. You can see here, and here it is the maximum of temperature in level 4. It is due to the atmospheric temperature that have a greater influence on the upper soil lower. It is for this there is a lag between the two temperatures. So now we will see the soil temperature at specific months over different years, because we have seen there is a variation of temperature, but we would like to see if there is an increase of temperature for between each years. So in this section we will produce the same type of plot as before, but focusing on annual variation at specific months. So to do this, we will filter the dataset to keep only the value corresponding to the selected months. So for May, for example, we create another dataset, DF STL months, that keep only value of May value. So you can see here we have a value of temperature in May for each year. And here we plot the new data frame, so it is the same code, and you can see the temperature of the soil at different levels for May. And we observe a gradual increase in temperature during the month of May over the years, which indicate an earlier thawing of the soil. Let us now take a look. So now we will see over months to see if there is the same trend with increasing temperature with years. So we do the same for October. So we create a new data frame for only for October months. Here it is 10. And in October we observe a gradual increase in temperature over the years too, resulting in a later refreezing of the soil. So we can see an increase in soil temperature over the years for each level due to the climate change. So now we will compare the temperature with concentration of methane. So in this section we will compare the evolution of methane with temperature. So to do this we open the methane dataset, then we create a data frame at a second point. We merge the temperature and methane, the two datasets, to have a single dataset, and then we create annual means, and then generate the corresponding plot. So first we open the methane dataset. We use exactly the same coordinate that you have seen before. So we find the index of nearest coordinate for longitude and latitude. It is not exactly the same, but it is very near. We find the index of time, and we create a data frame of methane. It is exactly the same method that you have seen before. You can see here the data frame dependent of time, only of time. You have the methane. And finally, we merge the two data frames, so temperature and the methane. So we use the data frame of temperature, and we joined the data frame of methane by date, so by this column. So we can visualize the final data frame. So there is the temperature, and here the concentration of methane. We do the annual means, so we create a new data frame with the data frame final, and we create a new column with years, and then we do a mean for each variable grouped by years. So for each years you have a value. And then we create a new column to have a normalized value. It is to see easier all the variable to have the same norm. And finally we plot the figure. So we plot the methane and temperature at 2 meters, so the normalized value. And you can see the normalized value, so it is between 0 and 1 of temperature and the mass of methane. So you can see that the both curves show an increasing trend in temperature and methane concentration. And this rise is particularly noticeable from 2012, where an accelerate in value can be observed. So you can see a large increase for the value. It is possible to create a linear regression for these two lines. So for this, we use the geosmooth function. So here we are geosmooth for temperature, and here for methane. And you can see here the regression. So we observe increase in both temperature and methane concentration, and the two parameters show similar trend over time. However, the rise in methane level is not only due to increasing temperature and the thawing of permafrost, because there is other more complex process are also involved. So now this training is finished. You have successfully completed this training. Thank you for your attention. We hope you enjoy this training in air to evaluate the evolution of the permafrost in Alaska. If you want, you can try other dataset or modify the support to show other oceanographic or atmospheric phenomena. Have a nice day. Bye.